You're watching On That Note on PSTV. It's time to take some notes, people. Let's get to it. Hi, I'm your host, Fredrica, or Freddy Appau. Our lesson for this week is mental health and happiness. Before we give you some stimulating facts, we have an interview with the mental health expert, Chelsea Harrington. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Harrington. I am a social work major with a psychology minor. And the reason why I am studying social work is because I've always wanted to help people. I've always wanted to do more and just find a career that meant doing more than just what I would be doing for myself. So like I kind of said before, helping people to just be part of something more than just something so egocentric as myself. So mental health has always been a big picture in my life. I have known a lot of people who have either mental disorders, I've known people who do, or family members who have mental disorders, and it did spark my interest once I started studying it, especially with my psych minor. And I've always liked just knowing how the brain works and how these things do happen to people. And I've always wanted to help those people, and the kind of cool thing about social work is we're taught that we can never force someone, or more specifically our client, to participate in any kind of program or any sort of help that what we may think that they might need, but they don't see it themselves. So it's kind of cool to see it from that perspective and to learn how to help people through that way. And what I like the most about doing it that way, instead of just forcing someone to get help, is that you're actually empowering them to do it themselves. It's their decision to go through with it, and it's them who are bringing them out of the hole that they felt like they fell in, rather than us giving them the rope or the ladder to pull them out. So that's what I like the most about being a social worker, and to become a social worker is because I'm not forcing these people to get the help that I think that they need, or that maybe their family and friends may think they need, but rather they're doing it for themselves, and that in like a way that's gonna make them a better person. So with that being said, what I do to make myself happy is I dance. I've been dancing since I was probably about like 3 or 4 years old. I can't remember, to be completely honest with you. But I do remember from just such a young age, letting the music kind of just fill like my body and soul, and just letting my body interpret that music into moves has always just been like a mind-clearing reaction, and it's very hard to explain. So like anyone who has danced before could probably tell you something similar, where you just feel completely at ease, and it's empowering to see music that, artists spend so much time picking the music that they're playing and the lyrics to go along with them, and then to transform those into movements and to tell a story that way is something that's always been amazing to me. And as a dancer, it's like such a great exercise too. So like, I know coming from the psych perspective, like you're releasing endorphins, and that actually does make you feel better, but it's also like a spiritual and mental thing where you just feel so much better about yourself afterwards, and it's just a really great stress reliever. Some other things I would do is just listen to music and draw. I love drawing. I love drawing to music. Sometimes I don't always need like a clear like what I want to draw. I just kind of listen to music and see with the music what does my body want me to do at that point. Another thing I really like to do to like kind of keep myself happy and to keep me stress-free is napping, honestly. Sometimes your body's just so physically exhausted, and that's not necessarily just your body, it's also your mind too. And to just be able to take that nap and to just forget about everything for that 15-20 minutes even though that's not really a nap, let's be real. It's like daydreaming with your eyes closed. But just having those few minutes to keep your mind completely clear is very relieving. So those are some of the things I do to just try to make myself happy. And so what I do as at my internship, my senior year as a social work major, we have to do internships. And mine is I go to the Ted K Center, which for anyone who does not know what that is, it is an educational program for adolescents who are living in Plattsburgh's low-income housing authority. So I'm working with children who are in low-income families that don't necessarily have as much access as those who are from middle-class or higher-class families. And we do multiple different things. We have two different types of programs. There's the morning program, which is for preschoolers, and then we have our afternoon program, which is for anyone ages 5 to 17, sometimes 18, depending. In the morning, we basically teach preschool, so it's another access to families who can't afford to put their kids in preschool, and that we teach them the basic things that they need before they go into public schooling. The after-school program is a way for children to come home if their parents are working and they are too young to be left home alone. They come to the center. There's activities, there's a lot of like art activities. We've done clay projects, we've done painting projects. It's also a place to be tutored. We have tutors that come in to help kids that need to be tutored in a certain subject, and even as me as an intern, I've helped students do their homework, things like that. It is a nice way to get the kids to do recreational and educational things outside of school. And this way they're not just going straight home, or they're not going straight to a computer or to the TV, that they are getting something more.
Now that you've seen our interview with Chelsea, it's time to give you some download on some mental health stats and facts. 1 in 5 adults admit that the cost of the treatment for depression and mental illness is a major reason why they don't seek treatment. In some states, like Nevada and Hawaii, the number is actually 70%. For children, they are more likely to be diagnosed with an emotional disturbance in the north and eastern region of America. Can you believe that? Studies have shown that the youth are becoming more depressed, with a 1.3 increase from 2010 to 2013. And the numbers only are rising. In the South Side, we have states with the lowest prevalence with addiction than the rest of the country. Can you guys guess which country is the happiest in the world? If you guessed Brazil, I'm sorry, you're wrong. I will give you one thing though. They have the biggest bums in the world, but they're not the happiest. As of 2017, the happiest country in the world is Norway. According to Inc.com, some ways to be happy are to get a good night's rest, to exercise for at least 7 minutes, and to get outside more often. The more you practice smiling and the more you begin to help others, the better you get at being a step closer to happiness. If you see someone struggling with suicidal thoughts or mental health issues, call 1-800-273-8255. Another way to reach out to someone you can speak to is by logging online to 7cupsoftea.com, where you can 100% confidentially speak to others who will listen to you. Remember, your well-being matters. And also remember, you matter. After the break, we catch up with our pal Ireen as she interviews the students of SUNY Plattsburgh. Don't go anywhere, because you have to see me when you come back. Welcome back, note takers. Hope you enjoyed the amazing facts on happiness. Coming up, we have Ireen interviewing students on the campus of SUNY Plattsburgh, followed by another episode of our mini-series, Lessons Learned. Then, of course, our lovely panel. But before we give the air to Ireen, I wanted to, express my thoughts and feelings on, mental illness and happiness. If most of you don't know already, I'm a graduate. I just came back to do this show. This should tell you how amazing our show is. But when I did go, to school here, I was involved in a lot of things. But the two most important things to me that I personally think that I was involved with was being a Title IX intern as well as being a resident assistant. And they both kind of correlated, because whatever I learned from Title IX, I kind of took it over to like my RA position with helping my residents in the buildings as well as in their classes and just their everyday, day-to-day and things that they're dealing with. But being a resident assistant, there are a lot of things that we have, I personally had to deal with. Kids are coming from home where they used to have mommy and daddy, and now it's just them by themselves. Most kids don't know their limit when it comes to drinking, or actually saying no to somebody when somebody wants to talk to them, or just there's a lot of things when you come to college, you're like, oh my goodness, this is like the lion's den and I am all alone. That's where I come in, because I've been here for a while and I'm just the type of person that you want to talk to. Sometimes kids feel very, very overwhelmed when it comes to their classes, or not being able to find friends, or not being able to find a clique or a group that, they can be a part of. I just want to say, if somebody is feeling that kind of way, if they can't talk to their RA, or they just can't talk to your mommy and daddy back home, just lend an ear, because you could be that change in somebody's life. You can be that step before somebody, decide to say, oh my goodness, I think I want to end my life. And it kind of went from 0 to 60 real quick, but we have to understand that it really does go from 0 to 60 really quickly. So if somebody's feeling down, or, comes to you and say, bro, I'm really down, I just want to talk, please just lend an ear. And when it comes to happiness, I just want to say you have to learn to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can never love anything else. Not your boyfriend, not your parents are going to make you happy, but you yourself will make you happy. But moving on, now we take it over to Ireen, where she snoops around SUNY Plattsburgh asking students about their thoughts on happiness.
What are some ways that you make yourself happy?
I usually go to hang out with friends, or I like to play music, or write and draw. So I just try to kind of take a break from my studies and kind of indulge myself in my hobbies.
And what are some of your hobbies?
Well, I play the ukulele, and I also draw comics. I like to read a lot of things online, like manga or just like literature and things like that.
And do you think you're the happiest with yourself or when you're with others?
I think it depends on the environment. I do find myself more happier by myself, but if I'm around a good group of people and there's not a lot going on, it's just nice and calm vibe. I can definitely enjoy that happiness as well.
It's important to stay healthy with your mental health.
Definitely.
Yes.
Keeping up with your mental health, and just take some time to be alone and just like think about some things.
I'd say I'm the happiest with others, though that does not mean that I'm like not happy by myself. So I'm pretty neutral on both sides.
And don't overthink, obviously, but definitely keep some positive thoughts.
Thanks, Irene. Up next, we will show you what is going on in Gaby and Destiny's world in Lessons Learned. We will be right back, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. You are watching On That Note, which means you are about to see something truly noteworthy. Last time on Lessons Learned, Alex broke up with Destiny, and Ciara was mad at Gaby for spending all her time with Liam. Let's see what this week's episode holds for us. Now, with the new episode of Lessons Learned.
Hey, thanks for coming by again. I'm really sorry about the way I acted.
It's okay. You know you'll always be my friend. What's up with your sister?
Oh, Destiny's kind of upset about her breakup with her boyfriend.
Well, I mean, wasn't, Alex, her first boyfriend, and they spent so much time together?
Yeah, he was her first boyfriend, but, I mean, I hope there's, not a serious issue,
Yeah. Maybe we should go talk to her about it.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea.
I wasn't listening to that or anything.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be alright. Just got a lot on my mind.
Look, even though I'm your younger sister, that doesn't mean you can't talk to me. We're here for you, you know that, right?
And you know what? I should give you my number to my therapist. She is fantastic.
Alright, maybe I should go see a therapist. I just broke up with Alex and been thinking a lot about mom and dad lately. I don't know.
Do you think you have a lot of pressure taking care of your sisters without your parents around?
Yeah, I do. I really do, because I'm taking care of my sister and my tuition, so already that's so much just on me, and I have no help from my mom or dad. And my boyfriend just broke up with me, so that adds to it.
Never be embarrassed to get help. Your mental health should be your #1 priority. Take time to decompress. With that being said, you have my number.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh, I got in.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so I applied to a few cosmetology schools, and the University of Color Theory just accepted me.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I'm so excited!
Oh, hey!
Hey!
How's it going?
Not bad, not bad.
How are you feeling?
Better, can't lie.
See, I told you my therapist would work.
You're right.
I'm really proud of you, big sis.
Oh, thanks, little sis.
Hope you enjoyed that episode of Lessons Learned. Personally, I'm really proud of Destiny for seeking help. It looks like also that Gaby and Sierra made up, which is amazing. It's about time. How will Sierra fare in beauty school? Tune in for our next episode. And coming up, we welcome our panel to the studio. You do not want to miss this, so don't change that channel. Welcome back, note takers. If you've been watching, then you know it's time for a special panel with our lovely guests here. We have Carolyn, Kavita, and Emily here with us today to talk about happiness. So I'm just going to jump right in because I'm really, really excited about this. So our first question is, in your opinion, what are some ways people can remain happy? And anybody can answer.
I really like to do a lot of exercise. I go to the gym every single day. I have to do 15 minutes of cardio, and then I move on to my weights. It just keeps me feeling really good, really energetic. I do a lot of detox waters as well. And then I just like to do a lot of coloring in my spare time. I have 7 coloring books and a million different colored pencils. I just really love to color. It's so relaxing and just really takes my mind off of everyday stresses.
I think I'm going to try that one day.
Eventually. Not anytime soon, but at some point I'll get there. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I want to exercise. I think it sounds great, but I haven't had time or the energy or put in the effort to do it. I do color sometimes, though. That's a way I relax. If it's stressful, it's a way to concentrate on something that's not super important. I also have 2 dogs at home who I love, and they make me so happy. It makes it so much easier to get through the day when I see them.
Kavita?
I took it a much deeper way. I think a great way to stay happy is just living in the moment. Growing up, I used to be such a planner, and I feel like you're not really living in the present, and you're constantly saying oh, I'll be happy in this amount of time. And also just dwelling on mistakes. Sometimes you live in the past. So I say stay in the moment and live in the moment.
Honestly, I could not agree with you there. Ladies, gentlemen, keep the past in the past and move forward. So moving on to our second question, how long do you think it takes to find happiness? Wait, there's a second part. And do you think it takes a lifetime to be happy? So we can tackle the first one first, and then we're going to the second one.
I feel like it does kind of take a lifetime to be happy, but I think a lot of people mistake being content and being happy. I think being content is just you're okay with where you are in your life, and that's fine, but I think it does take a long time to eventually be happy.
You've given us with those Gandhi quotes today, yes, okay.
I like to think that you're happy a lot of the time, and maybe we dwell so much on the negative stuff. So I know for me, I was very happy all through high school. I kind of saw myself drop a little bit in college, but then I'm bringing myself back. And I really think it's just about when you find it and you stick to it. But I really think we can always be happy, but we really just dwell on the negative, and we need to stop doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. We do tend to dwell on the negative, and that's something everyone needs to work on. I don't think, though, it takes a lifetime to find happiness. I think there are little points in happiness. You can have a day that's a bad day with 1 point in happiness, and that doesn't mean you're taking the entire day to find it. It could just be a random point, and that could make the rest of the day really great, or just a bad point can make the rest of the day really terrible.
Nice. To each his own, but for the record, let's just stay on the positive and not dwell on the negative. So what I'm hearing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. So our last question is, do you think happiness lasts forever? Or is it just the moments that define happiness?
I'd like to think of it opposite. Because like I said, I feel like you can always be happy, but I think it's more the moments that define the negative. So I do think that you could be happy forever as long as you find what you love and you can continue to go after it. You kind of have to have a direction, but I don't think you can just kind of throw yourself into any situation. But I think like as long as you have a path and you're directed into being happy, you could be happy forever.
I think that happiness isn't something that lasts forever necessarily. I think that if you try to reach that goal, you're going to end up being disappointed because everybody hits sadness in their life, tragedy and trauma. That just happens. And it's just you don't want that point to define the rest of your life. You can't let it suck you into a dark hole. And you need to learn to appreciate the bright spots within your life and find the happiness in the key moments.
I kind of agree that it should kind of be, I feel like there are bursts of happiness because I feel like a lot of people feel like ashamed to like ever feel like sad or depressed, and like I think it's totally normal to feel that way. Like you have down days and you have good days, and I think there are moments when I even feel like I'm like, oh wow, I'm like pretty happy, and there's moments when I'm like, no, I'm having like a really bad day, you know?
I've had those moments within the same day. Like this is a great day, this is awful. So
I think you all touched on some really important points, especially when you said some of us have some sad days and some of us have some traumatic days, which kind of correlates to our topic today where we talk about happiness and mental illness. So like for everybody out there, if you find yourself too much of a slump, just, you know, reach out to somebody and ask for help. I just want to make that point, you know, clear to everybody at home who's watching us. But honestly, thank you guys so much for coming. You all did amazing. But before we go, we have a quick activity. I will give you each a fortune cookie. Who's excited for it? I am. And you must form a sentence of a word you received in the back of your fortune cookie. So I have 3 here, and I'm going to give you each one, and you pass it down. Okay. So we have Miss Emily, Kavita, and then we have Carolyn. So you're going to crack it open. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It feels so good just to hear the cracks.
Well, my fortune is the fortune you seek is in another cookie. So, if one of you have the better.
Wait, can you read yours again?
Sure. Let's see. The fortune you seek is in another cookie.
Well, let's see if it's in yours,
You guys have my
Kavita.
fortune.
It says, you will always be prepared for the future, but never forget what you've learned in the past.
Nice.
Mine says, the man who has no imagination has no wings.
That's actually, listen, I'm getting some Gandhi vibes today. Like, let's go.
Some like Pinterest quotes.
Right? Let's get to the computer, hit some Pinterest quotes today. You guys, that's really, let me. The man who has no imagination has no wings, but I'm flying. I'm flying. Thank you guys so much. Well, that is all the time we have for today. On that note, tune in next time. As always, I'm your host, Fredrica Appau. Stay tuned for more note takers. Bye, everyone.